a little bit of ASMR. But so uncomfortable driving here. You know when you're low-key, like, you're not following someone, but it looks like you're following someone? So I got onto the frontage road and I was driving over here. Little racer car, I think it was like an older Lexus, and he just kind of made it sound so loud. I had my sunroof down and it was piercing my ears, and I was just like, please, 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 like, I cannot wait to get off of this road. This guy turns on the road that I'm supposed to turn on, so I'm just like, great. Then he turns at the light that I'm supposed to turn on. I'm like, oh my gosh, great. This guy turns into Best Buy. I'm literally gonna be so mad. And he did, and I was just like, okay, well, I don't want to seem like I'm following him, but so he ended up going straight. I'm just gonna go around so it doesn't look like I'm following him. And so I hit the corner and this guy is parked right there on the corner. I was just like, oh my god. But yeah, so it was just really weird. It was really annoying because his car was just so loud, like so loud, guys. It was really bad. So that was a little awkward. So basically for this video, I'm going to be sharing some tips for moving out. I did a poll earlier and I kind of just wanted to gauge this series and see what you guys were really interested in, and a lot of you guys chose like moving out, adulting, credit, and things like that. So this is going to be the first episode of In My 20s. So if you don't want to miss an episode of this series, then definitely subscribe and turn on your notifications. But in this episode, we're going to be talking about moving out. I'm going to give you guys some basic tips and just kind of things that I wish I knew before moving out. So I got all of this stuff at 0 Degrees. If you guys are in the Dallas area, then definitely check out 0 Degrees. Best elotes ever, 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 ever. This one is a spring lychee tea. I added coconut lychee jelly to it. Just so good. It's just so good. And just stir it. I was debating if I should get cheese foam onto it, but I was like, oh, well, I don't really want anything too heavy. I kind of want the tea to be a little bit lighter, so let's try it. Wow. I think this is like lychee and strawberry. This is so good. I actually never was into elotes when I was in New Mexico. I had my first one when I came to Texas, and I cannot believe I lived 22 years without trying it. I've always heard of them, but I'm like, that kind of sounds weird. Girl. So basically, if you aren't familiar with it, it's corn with mayo, this Mexican cheese, and lime. You can put tahini or any type of chili powder. First bite. So moving out, I kind of want to start with the basic expenses. I lived with my mom up until I was 20, and then my boyfriend and I ended up getting a place together, and so that's when we moved out. So I just kind of only experienced having a partner when moving out, so it does really help because then you're able to just like split all the expenses. I know like it might be a lot harder for anyone that doesn't have like a roommate or a partner to split those expenses with. I would definitely recommend just like saving up, but I wanted to go over the basic expenses that are aside from rent we need to take in consideration, and I don't want to overwhelm you guys. This is kind of on like a case-by-case basis. I know a lot of places they have like utilities included. I just kind of want to lay out like the foundation of what kind of expenses come with moving out. So the first expense is obviously going to be rent. I feel like a lot of times we are like, oh, I could afford that, but we never consider any of the other expenses. So rent, utilities, so gas, water, electricity. You have your trash, sewage, internet and TV services, renter's insurance, parking, yard maintenance. So whether you are renting for a house or apartment, I would definitely ask like who's going to pay those things. And most of the time like you have to pay for it, especially if it's a house, and they'll have you pay for like everything. But if it's an apartment, then they usually combine like trash, sewage, or like water, especially if they have like a pool and like a kind of a community, because they want you to pay for like that water that's in the pool and stuff like that. Our first apartment, our electricity was around like $30 to $40, and that was for a 1-bedroom, and our gas was about like $16-20. So just to give you guys like an idea. One thing I remember my manager at the time, because I was working at Sally's, she was saying buy a lot of lamps because that will help save the cost of electricity. Then you're going to want to think about internet and TV services. One of the things that I do want to touch on is that a lot of the times when we're making these calculations, whether we can afford a place or not, we're making them based off of internet and TV services that give us a special deal for like the first year or so. And then after that, it just skyrockets. Just kind of keep in mind, if you're getting a deal for an internet, I think like sometimes it's like 40 or 50 bucks for the internet. And then after the first year, it goes up to like 100 or something. You need to budget it as like 100, because I know a lot of us do like Netflix and stuff like that. So those are ways that you can save money. And then you also want to keep in mind renter's insurance. A lot of apartments, I believe it's like $100 a year, so it's not too expensive. For apartments, they'll charge you for a parking spot, and that can get pricey. I think they can be like $75 a month, $30. I don't know, I've never had to pay for parking, but I've heard that it could be really expensive. Renting a house, I used to always think, oh, they do like the yard maintenance and everything like that. No, a lot of times the landlords will require you to pay for the yard maintenance. Also, a lot of house maintenance, so like filters, your air filter. If your refrigerator has the water filter and like ice in it, you need to be changing the filter. But the water filters are expensive. Like I just bought one for my refrigerator and it was like $60. So that's like other little things that you just don't think about when you're moving out. When you're moving out, you really start from zero, and we can't take our parents' plate and like salt and pepper shaker. Like some of the places that you could look for furniture is like Facebook Marketplace, Offer Up, yard sales, thrift stores, Ross, Home Goods. There's a lot of places that you can find some really, really good items at. No, it's really affordable. Aside from furniture, I feel like plates, silverware, cups, I would definitely head over to the Dollar Tree. The Dollar Tree literally saved me when we were moving out, because I got like all our kitchen items for like $30 because everything was like $1. I think I still have the plates that I got because they were just like simple white plates, $1. Literally, Dollar Tree is so slept on, and I think it's like a must-have if you want to save money and just kind of get the basics. And then another thing that we just don't think about when we're moving out, especially for girls, if you're going to be living alone, having a security system is just a no-brainer. People are crazy out here. So I actually got this security camera for under $40 from Amazon. It's called the Igloo Cam S4, and it has features of video recording and also real-time monitoring. Also check the temperature of the room that it's in. So this is really good if you have like pets or babies. I really like that. It's cute and compact. The picture quality is amazing. It's in 1080 HD, so it can provide really clear photos in the daytime and in the nighttime. It has a 142-degree wide angle lens, and then you could also rotate it at 360, so you could rotate it all the way around. I've always been on the fence of having a security camera in the house, but ever since we got Bella, I'm just like, I kind of want to know what she's doing, because sometimes she'll get into the trash. Or to see if she actually gets onto the furniture, because since we have like white furniture, I'm like, does she get on it? So I really like this because I can see what she's doing. So if you're in the same situation and see how your pet acts when you're not around, then this would be a great camera for that as well. So there's like a temperature sensor located in the camera, so it can actually tell you how hot or how cold it is in the room. Through the remote control, you can also control other appliances in the house. You can set up detailed sound and emotion sensors. And also real-time push alarms, so if you are like in danger. And it's also really easy to set up. All you have to do is enter your Wi-Fi information, and that's basically it. Find a spot for it, plug it in, and that's basically it. So if you guys want to go check that out, I'll go ahead and have the Amazon link down below. Like I said, it was literally under 40 bucks, so really good price. Next thing I want to talk about is kind of like qualifications and just things that you need to keep in mind. So to qualify for a place, you usually have to make 2 to 3 times the amount of rent. So if your rent is $500, you have to at least be making $1,500 a month. Then you have to put down a security deposit, which is usually the amount of the first month's rent. And they also will probably require you for sure the first month rent. I know some places might require the last month rent, and also renter's insurance, like I was telling you guys, and deposits to turn everything on. Turn on electricity, there might be like a small deposit, internet installation. 4 years now I've been living away from home, and there's just definitely some things that I would have wished I'd known, so I'm going to tell you guys that now. One of the things is that to be honestly really realistic with yourself, because a lot of us just look at how much the rent is and we don't really consider all of the other extra costs. Like if you have like a car payment or phone bill, you just get so excited that you don't really see any of the bad things about the place that you're living in. So our first apartment was a really nice and like new apartment. I believe we were the first ones in it, and I was so excited. I didn't even notice that we did not have a light in our bedroom. Like we just had a fan. Like there was no light. And so for I think like a whole year, we basically went into our room and had to turn on the flashlight from our phone and then like walk over to the other side of the room to turn on the lamp. Then we finally figured out that one of the plugins actually hooks on to the light switch on the front. But it just really sucked because it was like, why would they put a fan in here and like not a light? Because those are some of the basic things that you would think would come with an apartment, especially because it was one of the most expensive apartments. Scope everything out. Open up the cabinets, turn on the water, check out the water pressure, look at the layout, like see where you can put things in, like a table, or how the living room would be set up, where the couches are, how the bedroom is, how the bathroom is, and just really see if it's practical to live there. Also, go on the outside and check out any of the trees, the yard, the shrubbery around there, because our second place, oh my gosh, if you guys go back and watch my vlog, it was so bad. Our parking spot was, it was so bad. Like the trees from above trashed my car. It was just so bad, and I hated it, and there was really just nothing you can do about that. And so if you find that the complex has a lot of branches or leaves and stuff around, more likely they don't really, like, not like they don't take care of the apartment, but that could end up on your car, or if you have like a balcony or something, that could just be really dirty, and like you have to upkeep that, you know. So just think about things like that. And also I would try to find a really good and reliable agent to help you find a place. They're completely free because they get paid when they get you like the place, like the actual person that's trying to like rent the space. They're the ones who actually pay your agent, so you don't have to pay for them, and they will help find places for you. Also, this is something that I recently just found out. If you're trying to rent a house for the first time, it might be a lot harder because they want to see like your credit and also renter's history, and they might turn you away because you don't have any renter's history. And probably my biggest advice to you, if your budget allows you to, is to not always go for the cheaper one. Everyone's biggest bill every month is their housing expense. Everyone has to live somewhere. Either you're buying a house or you're renting. Your biggest bill is probably your house. So cheaper is not always the best. And for me, I just think that paying a little bit more to be really comfortable and like really proud of your space is 100% worth it, because if you don't like where you're living, then it's going to drive you insane every single day. I think that's it for this video. This was so good, as usual. I still have a little bit left. Got like a really big piece of the lychee. If this video helped you in any way, then I would love for you to leave a comment and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!